Right when you think you know what's going on in Class 4A, a crazy week happens, and now you're left wondering if you know anything at all about this class. Class 4A is an absolute dogfight at the top. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we had some huge upsets this week that I think caught us all off guard. And we're going to get right into it. But before we get into it, I will say later in this week, we're going to have another version of the bracket predictions coming your way. You guys really seem to enjoy that, so we're going to bring it to you again. You guys really blew that video up. But nevertheless, let's get into your top 16 where we have some movement. Starting at number 16, Lamar's, and I'm just going to talk about Denison because they're right ahead of them. Denison picks up a huge win over a top 10 Lamar's to secure a district title. A really nice win. I know the Denison kids were all up in our IA football DMs telling us to pop out to that game. I saw them. Don't worry. I appreciate you guys tuning in and supporting IA football. I was at a different game this week, but nevertheless, Denison picks up a huge win. I saw the video. They blocked a punt in the final few minutes, scored a touchdown, and locked up a district title with a 16-14 win over a really good Lamar's team. At number 14, Gilbert. Gilbert starting 6-0. They've lost their last two, and they're really on the edge of this bubble, and they've got a really tough game in the final week. This is basically a playoff game. Pella and Gilbert. I'm not going to tell you where these guys are at in our RPI predictions because that video is coming out later this week. But I will tell you this: the winner of that game is going to put themselves in a lot more comfortable spot, waiting for the selection show or the link on at 10 a.m. on Saturday from the association. So the winner of that game is going to feel pretty good, and the loser about that game is going to have a rough night of sleep before the drawing come out. So again, Gilbert Pella this week, and what basically is a playoff game for both teams. At number 13, Ballard at 4-4. They move up 3 spots. They beat Des Moines North 55-6. Only a 4-4 record, but they've got some impressive wins and some impressive scores. They beat North Polk. They've hung with ADM. Really a scrappy team in Ballard. At number 12, Indianola, the team of the week, and they beat number 4 ADM 24-0. Absolute eye opener. We're hearing some things that Flora didn't play or Flora's not healthy. I haven't looked at the stats, so I'm not sure. Either way, hoping for a speedy recovery for Aiden, the new Iowa State Cyclone. But again, ADM is going to have a big game this week. Indianola with a big win notches their RPI placement up and puts them in a better spot for the postseason. So a really pivotal win for Indianola. At number 11, Norwalk, they lost to number 3 Lewis Central 42-13. Not much here. Really good Lewis Central team. Norwalk's also good. Just Lewis Central is just in that kind of top tier of teams. Hopping into the top 10 though, Pella. What the heck, Pella? I mean, they're 5-3, which isn't anything shiny, but they've got 2 wins over top 5 teams. Bondurant and Xavier, they have wins over, and both those wins I think no one was expecting. And they're going to finish the year with Gilbert, like I said, basically winning there in the playoffs. Oddly enough, they've beaten Bondurant and Xavier, like I said. When they're on, they're good. If they get hot, they could make a deep run. Luke Hardman is a stud. He's leading the team in just about every category. He's a great leader under center. But Pella, 5-3, really just don't know how to read that team because they're only 5-3, but they got 2 of the better wins and across the entire season. So Pella and the Dutch, they jump up 4 spots and into our top 10, and rightfully so. At number 9, Newton, they move up 3 spots into our top 10. They finished the year with Des Moines Hoover. An absolute masterclass defensively last week against Gilbert. They win that game 21-2. Technically didn't pitch a shutout, but their defense did. Their defense didn't allow any single points. It's just their offense getting to safety. So I'm sure the defensive guys are giving them some crap. But nevertheless, they're led by Cody Klein, who has 1,000 rushing yards in the season. Again, Newton closing the year with Des Moines Hoover. At number 8, North Polk. Big game this week against number 6 ADM, district title on the line. If they win the district. Lose, and they could drop to 4th in the district. So an absolutely pivotal game here. BJ Tate leads the way with 874 rushing yards this season. North Polk, a really good team, and a big matchup this week. At number 7, Glenwood. They finished the year with number 11, Norwalk. Winner of this game takes sole possession of 2nd place in the district. Loser would need a wild card to make the playoffs. Caden Anderson, obviously the name there, leads the way with 1,200 passing yards this season. At number 6, dropping out of your top 5, ADM. They finished the year with number 8, North Polk. If Aiden Flora can come back, they will be a force to be reckoned with. If he's done, we don't know. We don't want to speculate. We're gonna hope for a speedy recovery, and we're gonna go with the flow. But nevertheless, hoping Aiden can recover quickly. He's got 798 passing yards, and he's rushed for 1,400 yards. So that'd be a huge loss if it's something serious, which we hope it is not. Hopping into our top 5, though. where we've got another team with what we hope is not an injury bug. Bondurant loses to Pella, pretty dominant fashion. They finished the year with a tough Carlisle team. Again, Titus Cram went down with an injury in that Pella game, what we heard via Twitter or via X. Hoping it's nothing serious. Again, that's the last thing we want, and it bums me out that this is all happening in week 8, right before the postseason. Just big names, probably the 2 biggest names in Class 4A dropping with injury. Even Kyler Girardi at North Scott, I know he's had some injury problems, so just not fun. Hoping everyone gets healthy before the postseason. But if Cram cannot make it back, the season takes a turn in the wrong direction. Obviously, they got stars around him: Jordan Ryle, Reed Faltzgraf, and plenty of guys on that team that are playmakers. But losing him is no doubt a bummer. But nevertheless, hoping the best for Bondurant as they are 6-2. They dropped 3 spots, still sitting in our top 5 though. At number 4, North Scott at 6-2. 2 losses on the year. They lost to number 1 and number 3, 2 teams ahead of them. If Kyler Girardi comes back for the playoffs, they will have a chance to win it all. Without him, they're just not the same team. It just sucks. This 4 through 6 spot in Class 4A, you just don't know what to expect because you don't know who's playing, which is a tough read. But he's got 1,067 passing yards, 600 rushing yards, so he's a difference maker. I had a ton of fun watching him in the Xavier game. So hoping the best for him and hoping the best again for all these guys. But moving on to number 3, Xavier. They got 2 losses on the year. They may be the favorite heading into the playoffs, honestly. They finished the year with Burlington. Ronan Thomas has now notched 1,200 passing yards and has only thrown 1 interception on the year. At number 2, Lewis Central. This team's getting hot, and this team's taking advantage of mistakes and some teams dropping some games. They're all the way up to number 2 again. They beat a solid Norwalk squad in dominating fashion and are playing their best football heading into the playoffs. They finished the year with DCG, and they're led by Brady Hetzel, who has 1,500 passing yards. That is good for number 5 in Class 4A. At number 1, though, a team that's really kind of solidifying themselves as the team with the target on their back, Western Dubuque, the Bobcats. Solid win over Decorah. They finished the year with Mason City. They're also the only team with 1 loss in all of Class 4A, which is bonkers. We got no undefeated teams, and we only have 1 team with just 1 loss. That just tells you how even and deep this class is, and it's really, honestly, wide open. They're led by Grant Glouser, who now has 1,700 yards rushing, which is leading the state. Again, that's all I got for Class 4A. Be sure to tune in, subscribe to IU Sports on YouTube. We've got playoff content coming your way. Class 4A, this bracket's going to be a ton of fun. Like I said, a lot of teams competing for the top. No undefeated teams, only one loss team. So it just proves how deep Class 4A is this year. So we're going to have a ton of fun covering it. Nevertheless, Class 4A fans, I'll catch you guys later in the week.